Good afternoon, Scott Redler, T3 Live. Welcome to today's recap, Monday's recap, first day of the week. You know, we came in overbought, big week the last week, actually big 9 days, so figuring a little, little digestion, a little back and forth would make sense. And if you take a quick look at the S&P, you'll see we have a small little doji. You know, this is the rally that started in November, tested here, tested there, pushed the envelope a little bit here. You take a closer look to what transpired, in the past 9 sessions, which we tried to go over to teach you guys how to navigate. Here's your small red dog reversal. That was your pivot, gap and go, engulfed this descending channel, held above it, and there we are right here with this small little doji. So the question is, how many days do we hang out here and what type of action could we see? So with that being said, what do we know? We know that now we have a small little pivot, right around this, which is 1740, and then we have 1747 as the high. If we were to go sideways here for the next session or so, chances are the market's not going to be waiting for anybody. If we happen to break below this, you have a small support right here, and then you have the prior high, okay, which if you remember the last few times, we weren't able to hold it, so we'll see if this is different. Remember this, the 2-day breakout, okay, that failed. Remember this prior breakout, that 2 days failed. So here's the first day, looks a little different, right? A doji, a little bit more commitment. So, I'd love to see the 8 and 21 catch up before we start, making another move. So with that said, high beta has been the place to be. Google had its earnings, was up a little bit. We said, take, just back off a little bit, give it some, a little spot to breathe. And at this particular point, you have an inside day, or what happened was maybe some guys even made some money short, opened up above the prior high, came below, and now let's see what type of digestion do we have. What I'd like to do is I'd like to see it hover here for a little bit. You now have a new point of reference at 999. It would even be better if we had like some kind of down open, where we get some kind of pivot below, come back above, and then this way we could be long versus that for some type of consolidation here for potential move. So right now, I think it just needs time. Okay, nice big option play for some people who got involved, and if not, let's wait for a new reentry. Apple definitely stretched today, which was nice to see. We've been talking about Apple for a long time. We always talk about Apple, but ever since last quarter's earnings, you had that really nice move, the retest, and then here's when it got all tight. 493, we talked about it till we were blue in the face. It took a lot of time to get above there. Okay, so finally it did, and then from there, some guys took a call spread. That's what I did, because so I didn't have to worry about this little noisy action. Then finally today, Friday went worthless, so we switched back to stock. Traded above this 513.74, and I think I sold most of mine in the morning, probably too early, before 520ish, and then it went as high as 524. So now if you look at it, okay, going into an event, which sometimes is always tricky. Apple likes to sell off events, especially with earnings, around the corner. On a basis like this, it looks like it just broke above 513.74. So with that being said, I took a little bit back on the dip, but it could continue to extend and is all the way up to, I was thinking maybe by earnings, it could fill this gap, which is above 540 and maybe even higher at this point. This inch finally stretched, and then in the afternoon, there was really not much of a trade. It happened quickly. So at this point, still looks good. A lot of guys are still trimming and trailing. They have all kinds of options across the board. At this particular point, there still is room here. The question is how that happens. All right, let's take a quick look at Netflix. Netflix came out after hours. Look at this. Look at this trend all the way up, 11% short. Nice trigger above, and now we'll see where it's trading after hours. Guys are trading. I think Sperling's involved with it now. Here we are. For some people who trade after hours, this is what my guys would probably be looking at right now. You have 380, then you have 386, and now the question is, will it take out this bull flag after hours? Okay, right now it's hovering there. So it went quick. I think most of the numbers are really strong. So now at this point, the question is, at whatever time it is now, 4:18, will it continue and give the guys some follow through? And at this point, it looks like it's trying to do so. Well, there it goes. Anyway, with that being said, you can trade these things after hours. There's an art to it. There's a lot of risk there, but you could follow the chart the same way, and this is a nice bull flag, and we'll see if it continues. Some took options. I actually avoided it just because of the size of the move, and I just wasn't ready to, to throw some money at it. So no big deal. If you did so, congratulations. If you're trading it after hours, follow the 3 and 5 minute pattern just like you would trading it intraday, but there's not as much liquidity there. As far as let's take a quick look at Facebook. Facebook, I actually made some cute money short there today. Guys saw me get short. When it was up 40 cents, went negative, tried to push into the gap, didn't really do much. You look at the chart here, you will see that look at the size of this move. The 8 and the 21 day usually does play some kind of catch up. You do have this gap here, another like exhaustion gap. Typically this type of thing gets a little filled. That's why I was playing it to the short side. I have a little bit short still overnight. You know what? And if it gets above this little price point of 54.80, I'll just get out of the way. My last buy price was when it broke above 51.60, took it home long, sold it on Friday. Nice another move. We had a nice move here. We've had a lot of nice moves to the long side. So now I'm looking a little cute here, but trying to be cute too long can make you ugly. It's a good little just say little lesson. This HIMX was a stock that Sperling's been trading and has been involved in. For me, I'm like, oh, this looks good. I'm going to try and trade it for a breakout above 11.49, and it failed. So you have to make a decision. What type of play were you looking for? Looking to hold it as a swing into earnings that's in the next week or so, or you were looking for a breakout today? I was looking for a breakout today, and it didn't work. So with that being said, you look at the chart, okay, and you will see here, this is a pretty big topping tail. Charts change intraday. Okay, first things first, if you were long from here, okay, and as long as it stays above the 21 day, that is your thesis, then you know what, stay long, it, no big deal. Just wasn't ready to, get to prime time today. If you got involved today and I didn't have it long, I had it long, and then it started looking good, looked like it was going to break above, and then all of a sudden fell 50 cents in my mush. I said, you know what, not breaking out today. I don't know enough about this. I know Google Glass, whatever. I'm going to get out of the way and wait to see. So this topping tail got me out. I even tweeted, I'm like stopped out, 1090, and who knows, if it gaps up tomorrow and goes and I'm not in there, I'll probably cry about it. If not, it's just my trade was for a breakout. So the trade changed, so now I let it be. If you're in it for a swing and you've been in it even from here, congratulations. It's been a really nice move and it's trying to work its way out. Same way with something like Solar City. Okay, we've had a lot of really nice action in Solar City. Last big trade was when it gapped up, nice bull flag. You had continuation, through this area, broken, gapped above the prior 52-week high. And then today, some were looking for a cute short, and that's what took place. You had a gap open, some shorts got squeezed, some people chased, and then all of a sudden closed red. So that right there is a topping tail. That right there is your first day to take notice for a little bit of a rest. So the good book says take a little bit home short. We shall see. If it opens up tomorrow, see if it goes red, and then you have today's low as the pivot. Chances are I'd love to see just a cute little trade down to 55, but we shall see. These stocks have been really strong. SPWR, which is also a leader in this group, it also had a little bit of a topping tail. Sometimes they lead to a correction, sometimes they don't. This one, is pretty apparent. It's really stretched, so if you've been riding this thing long, spot to take a little bit off. If you think SPWR is going to be a $50 stock and you won't be able to navigate it, then maybe just stay the course, and you'll figure out what happened. Look what happened here. If you would have gotten out here when it broke and this had a potent down move and you said, okay, I'm out of it, and you felt really good down here, but if you didn't get back into it, how'd you feel here? So that goes the same way with this SCTY. If you're a believer that this thing's going to be, a $70 or $80 stock and you sold it today, and then all of a sudden comes down to 55 and you don't get back into it, and then it reverses and makes a new move, you just got to know how you want to deal with this. As far as the news, JP Morgan was in the in the news, and lo and behold, another doji here. It held where it had to, so the news didn't affect it that much. Bank of America, still hanging around. The longer it stays above this little area, the higher the probability we get a juicy breakout. So I would still look there. The casinos are still sort of strong. LVS, look at that. What a move. You remember when we were talking about this right here with the relative strength over the summer? Really nice trade. Boom. Here is your continuation, and there you go. The little MGM looks like it's setting up also. It's been lagging a little bit because it doesn't have the Macau exposure, So we'll see what happens there. You know, some guys still have in the drawer. If you do, keep it there. It's been really choppy. That's why I say keep the stock in the drawer, because you don't get much wide range, exciting days here. You've just been trending, and if you've been playing it for as long as it stays above the 821, you know, you've been doing just fine. This was pretty much like your last real, you know, tradable breakout when it made it, you know, when it went above the 16. So, you know, that's that. Let's see what win looks like. Win also just trending, not calculated, just trending. You know, I would say there's a lot of guys out there like me that trim and trailed themselves out of some good positions. If you left money on the table, it is what it is. It happens. At least you were sitting at the table, you know, to eat a meal. Granted, you didn't get full, and maybe you didn't have dessert or have the after dinner drink, but you know what? It is what it is. At least you're not starving. You know, guys taking trades and making money and putting money in the bank, you know, that's what, you know, keeps you healthy. So this way, maybe next time you sit at the table, you know, you'll use your utensils the right way. I use that as a joke because, you know, even me, I'm trying to evolve a little bit and become a little less risk averse. You know, last time Google, when it was all set up, you know, I bought the options and then it was up 40 bucks and I hedged it after hours, the whole thing, and I missed out on another 30 points. You know, then Facebook went long the options on the last earnings, hedged half, held half. This time with Google, you know, I had it, hedged half, held half. Next time, maybe I'll just let it go. Take the trade, walk out the door, and then come back the next day. You know, or trade it after hours like some of the guys do. So it's all a process, and we've all left money on the table, but you know what? It is what it is. You know, you have to just work on your entries and exits. For me, I typically get the best or good entries. I just sometimes take the trade a little earlier, whereas, you know, I don't get the real stretch. Or I have a little left for the real stretch. So that's how I'm continuing to work on my process. So with that said, see what Netflix, let's check back in Netflix. Let's see what's going on over there. Just, you know, might as well, right? We talked about it on the 5-minute chart after hours. Did it break above? Still hanging in there. Not ready to get above there. Still flagging. You know, it's only been trading for what now? 15 minutes or so after hours. So it's still in the game. I'm sure some people are a little frustrating because they're not getting the follow through the way they want to right now. But so far it looks okay. We'll see how that looks tomorrow. You go back to the daily chart. It's just what an unbelievable move. You know, it just goes to show you that high valuation stocks are high valuation stocks for a reason. You know, today Tesla was a little weaker. You know, we came in today talking about this 4-day range, and it did lag a little bit last week. And usually Tesla, when it's strong, it leads the market. Last week it lagged it, so it gave you little clues to be on the lookout. And then once it broke below 181, that was your high-level stop. Some people actually used it to get short, and then it closed pretty weak. So now we'll see what happens here tomorrow. We have this level to trade against. You know, perhaps it needs to channel further, you know, before it goes again. It can't always just be so strong. But as of right now, it's getting a little wishy-washy around the 821 day. So you take notice. The speed and composure has changed a little bit here. So you can't just be blindly buying Tesla thinking there's going to be momentum. So you have to notice when that happens. So tomorrow we'll see what happens if it opens below 171 or if it opens above and then pushes it. This is your pivot for tomorrow, and we'll figure that out. So all in all, nice way to start the week. Hopefully everyone's been taking trades, sticking with trades, and you know, there's a lot of action, you know, in the marketplace. Tomorrow we have the jobs number coming at 8:30, so we'll see what happens there. And you know, there's going to be a data catch up as well as a lot of earnings coming out. I did throw out a small little options play in Caterpillar just to end off here. Stock has been in this this channel for a long time. So I hate laggard plays, but for a long time now, it's been hanging out down here, April, May, June, July, like 7-8 months. So someone's accumulating here. Maybe China's a little bit better, whatever. I bought the 88 calls for Friday. If the report's in line, I think there's no reason why we can't get 90 plus, which would get $1. I played $1 or so for the options. I can get you 2 and change. And if it's actually, you know, a positive call, it could get you that. Because if you look also further back, you know, Caterpillar was all the way up here. So with that said, you know, it's worth a play, but it's a laggard play, so I'm not taking the stock. I'm taking a little bit of options, and my risk is premium paid, and I'm not putting as much equity into this as I did with Google, but it is worthy of a try. So with that said, Scott Redler, this has been the recap. See you tomorrow morning with Brittany. Have a good night.